Okay, so I'm here with Leah Franchi. We are going to review the subcontract agreement. This would be the sheet that we were referring to in the previous discussion, taking a look at contract setup in Prologue. So we wanted to make sure that you had a chance to see this sheet and where that information would come from. So go ahead.
Okay, so you'll see that the cost code is here, and you would just enter that. You would disregard the 700 number and just enter in the 310000 number. You have the company name, the contact, and their email address. And when you're setting up your contact, it's important to make sure that the email address is in there, or when you're linking your contact, if they're already set up, you want to make sure the email address is in there because we send all contracts out via DocuSign with email. And
DocuSign is a PDF?
DocuSign is a program that we use so that we can get electronic signatures from the contractor, the project manager, and then the director of construction.
Okay.
So, and then the contract date, this is actually really should say prime contract date. So it's really the contract date between the owner and Welty is what that date is. Subcontract date is just going to be whatever day that you're writing the contract. So there's not really a place on this form for the subcontract date. There's the addendums, bulletins. If there's any alternates and they're listed here, you're going to want to add the alternate with a description of work because there's really no place else in Prologue that I'm aware of to put in the alternate. If there's like a description, you'd want to put that in your description of work. Exhibits, this indicates that there's 2 attachments that are going to have to be included with the contract. And scope of work, schedule, well that's really...
Okay, so this is where they would get the description of work when they were filling out the contract. This would be like the brief summary of the work.
Right, this is the brief summary, yeah.
Okay. And then since the pricing is put in there, would they include that in that brief summary? Would they? Okay, so they could just copy it as is.
A copy as is.
Okay.
So the only thing that you can do is, if you want, you can add the brief description to the top of this saying site work and then proceed to list this. And then, like I said, if there is an alternate, you're going to want to make sure that's listed in your description of work below this so that it shows up on the contract.
So an alternate would be, can you explain an alternate? Is that something that
an alternate is like it's something that may or may not be done.
Okay.
So it might be
instead of another option.
It's another option on the project. Okay. They may not use that option.
Okay. But it should be stated if there's one given.
It should be stated, yes.
Okay. Good.
And then the subcontract sum, total amounts, and mostly this is already going to be. You can really disregard lists. There might be something like retainage 0%. There might be something that's unusual. So you want to be aware of this. But a lot of times that. And here, the schedule and exhibit, when you look back at Prologue to it, you'll see that there's really not a place that says, not a place that has a place for a schedule.
If a project engineer is taking data from this form and there's something unclear, who should they see for clarification?
Whoever gave them this form.
Okay, so this would come from either the estimator or the project manager?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Okay. And then that's pretty much it for the form. And then when you're all finished with this, I'm going to go over to the actual one that's already filled in so I can show you what else you do. So if you want to look at a contract that you've already put all the information in, you go to Contracts, All, and then you can find the contract you want to look at. So SiteText. So SiteText information was already filled in. And once you have all the information in, you want to create the Word document. So you select the W button, and then this should pull in all the information into our subcontract template that we already have.
Okay.
And so this is how the final contract gets generated.
So it's a boilerplate document that has standard language, and this is just information that's being imported into it.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. And then once it's generated, does Prolog display it?
Yes. No, what happens is we have to select the template.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I forgot about that part.